2 months ago, my daughter had a love marriage, but one night, at 2 a.m., everything changed. Someone knocked urgently on my door. When I opened it, I was horrified to find Anna, badly injured and terrified. The moment she saw me, she collapsed, losing consciousness. I rushed her to the hospital. As she finally regained her senses, she shared the horrifying story of her cruel mother-in-law and husband. I was consumed with rage and a desire for revenge, but the consequences of my actions would prove to be beyond what I could have imagined. My name is Martha. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm 48 years old. I've been divorced for over a decade. Though the divorce was painful, it was necessary. I have one daughter, Anna, who was just a child when everything fell apart. Raising her as a single mother was not easy, but every sacrifice was worth it. Now, at 24, Anna has become a strong and independent woman. Looking back, I remember the long nights I worked multiple jobs to ensure we had what we needed. Every ounce of love and effort went into raising her. Anna was always bright, full of dreams, and ambitious. I encouraged her to chase those dreams, even when it meant sacrificing my own. I wanted her to have opportunities one never had. As she grew, Anna remained reserved but diligent, studying hard and eventually landing her dream job at a prestigious company. I couldn't have been prouder of her when she shouted, "Mom, I got the job." Her excitement was contagious, and I hugged her tightly, tears of joy streaming down my face. But with success came new challenges. Anna met David, a 30-year-old financial consultant. After 7 months of dating, he asked for my blessing to marry her. At first, David seemed kind, serious, and respectful. He worked at a major firm that collaborated with Anna's company, and he appeared to be a good fit for her. But a nagging voice in the back of my head warned me that they were too young and that I wasn't entirely convinced of their relationship. "Are you sure about this, Anna?" I asked cautiously, trying to be supportive but protective. "Mom, I love him. He makes me happy," she replied confidently, her voice firm with hope. Seeing her so happy, I gave my blessing, though doubts lingered. After the wedding, Anna moved in with David and his parents, about 30 minutes away. I was worried, but Anna reassured me. "Mom, they're nice. Everything will be fine." The first month seemed perfect. Anna would call me regularly, telling me about her new life. "David is great, and his parents are so supportive," she'd say. I felt a mix of happiness and unease. Something didn't feel right, but I ignored my instincts. However, soon Anna's calls started to dwindle. At first, I thought she was just busy adjusting, but as days turned into weeks, my concern deepened. I couldn't reach her anymore. David had blocked my number. Worried, I decided to visit Anna. When I knocked on the door, David's mother answered with a hostile glare.
"What do you want?" she snapped.
"Is Anna home?" "I just want to see how she's doing," I asked, trying to remain calm. "She's busy. Call next time," David's mother said curtly before slamming the door in my face. I stood there, uneasy, but I tried to push the fear aside. Then, I heard Anna had abruptly resigned from her job. That wasn't like her at all. My dread deepened. 2 nights later, at 2 a.m., I was jolted awake by frantic knocking on the door. My heart pounded. Who could it be at this hour? I opened the door, and there stood Anna, bruised, swollen, and terrified. "Mom," she cried, collapsing into my arms. I held her tightly, my mind racing. "What happened?" I gasped. "I'm so scared, Mom." "It's terrible. I can't go back," she sobbed. As she told me her story, my heart shattered. David had become a completely different person after the wedding. He insisted she quit her job and, soon after, both he and his parents began treating her like a servant. They forced her to do all the housework and limited her access to food and water. Whenever I tried to stand up for myself, they hurt me, she whispered, her voice trembling. A fire of rage ignited within me. "You're safe now, sweetheart. You're home," I whispered, holding her close. But as Anna recounted her experiences, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't allow anyone to hurt my daughter, not without facing consequences. The battle had just begun. "Let's get you cleaned up," I said, leading her to the bathroom. I filled the tub with warm water, adding lavender oil to calm her nerves. As she settled into the water, I steadied myself. What was I going to do next? I knew I couldn't let this go unpunished. David and his family had taken advantage of Anna's kindness, and I was determined to make them pay. "What if they come after me?" Anna asked, her voice shaky. "They won't touch you again." "I promise," I reassured her. "You're safe here." I helped Anna bandage her bruises, then made her some tea to help calm her nerves. "Tell me everything, sweetheart. I need to understand so we can plan our next steps." Anna took a deep breath. "After we got married, everything changed. David became controlling. He wouldn't let me go out unless he was with me. When I came home late from work, he yelled at me. His parents backed him up, saying I had to take care of the house. They made me quit my job. I didn't want to, but I felt like I had no choice. Then they started treating me like a servant. And every time I tried to stand up for myself, they beat me." Rage boiled inside me. "This is unacceptable. We need to confront them. They need to know what they've done." "But, Mom, I'm scared. What if they hurt you?" Anna whispered. "They won't. I promise. We're facing this together." My voice was firm. The next day, I took Anna to the hospital to document her injuries. Afterward, we drove to David's family's house. The drive was filled with tension, but I reassured Anna. "We're not leaving until we get answers." When we arrived, I marched to the door and knocked. David's mother opened it, her face hardening when she saw us. "What do you want?" "I need to speak with David," I said, my voice steady. "And I need to speak with you too." Before she could respond, I pushed past her, Anna following hesitantly. David appeared, his face flickering with a hint of fear. "What are you doing here?" he demanded. "Anna is leaving you," I declared. "You've abused her, and I won't stand for it. You'll face the consequences." His face flushed with anger. "You don't know what you're talking about, Martha. Anna's just being dramatic." "No, David. You've broken my daughter, and I won't let you get away with it. You've treated her like a servant and hurt her in ways you can't even imagine." David's mother chimed in. "You need to control your daughter, Martha. She was never meant to be a working woman. She's a wife now, and her duty is to this family." I was furious. "Your so-called family is toxic. You've manipulated and abused Anna for too long, and I won't allow it anymore." David raised his hand as if to strike me, but I stepped back, bringing my arms up in defense. "Touch me, and I'll have you arrested." Anna, emboldened by my presence, spoke up. "I'm done, David. I want a divorce. I won't live like this anymore." David's face contorted in disbelief. "You'll regret this," he sneered. But I stood tall, knowing that this was only the beginning of our fight. Together, Anna and I would take back her life. As we walked away, I turned to face David and his family one last time. "You will answer for what you've done," I promised, determination flooding my heart. And with Anna by my side, I knew this was just the start of our battle to reclaim her freedom. The years of suffering had weighed heavily on us, but I was determined to help Anna reclaim her dignity. I wouldn't rest until justice was served. After our confrontation at David's house, Anna and I drove home in silence. I could sense her fear, now mixed with a renewed sense of determination. The drive was long, both of us lost in thought, bracing for what was to come. I glanced at her, taking in her bruised face and the fire in her eyes, a fire that had been dormant for far too long. "We need to go to the police tomorrow," I said firmly, breaking the silence. "We have to report what he did to you." Anna nodded, but worry crept back into her expression. "What if they don't believe us, Mom?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What if they think I'm just exaggerating?" I reached over and squeezed her hand. "They will believe you, Anna. We have the hospital records, photos of your injuries. You are not alone in this. I'll be right there with you." The next morning, we gathered every piece of evidence we could: hospital documents, photos of Anna's bruises, and the notes she had taken about the abuse. Each piece of paper felt like a heavy weight, each one a testament to our fight for justice. I watched as Anna's hands trembled as she placed the documents into a folder, both scared and resolute. Arriving at the police station, my heart raced. The walls felt like they were closing in, but I steadied myself. "We can do this," I murmured to Anna, who was staring at the ground, lost in thought. "You are brave, and you have every right to seek help." The officer at the front desk greeted us with a smile, but his expression quickly shifted to one of concern as he noticed Anna's condition. "Is everything okay?" he asked, leaning forward. "No, it's not," I said, stepping in front of Anna protectively. "My daughter has been abused, and we want to file a report." He gestured for us to sit down, his demeanor now serious as he listened intently to our statements. Anna spoke, her voice shaking but filled with determination. "My husband and his parents treated me horribly. They forced me to quit my job, isolated me, and hurt me when I tried to stand up for myself." The officer nodded, his expression grave. "Thank you for coming forward. We'll investigate this immediately. Your safety is our priority." Once the report was filed, we left the station, a mix of relief and anxiety settling over me. "What happens now?" Anna asked, her eyes wide with uncertainty. "Now we wait for the police to do their job," I replied. "But this is just the beginning. We need to prepare for the next steps." Over the next few days, we received updates. David's family was under investigation, and they were cooperating for now. But I knew they wouldn't sit back for long. I felt a rising sense of urgency. "We need to get a lawyer, Anna. Someone who can help you navigate this and make sure you get what you deserve." Anna hesitated. "What if it gets worse? What if they retaliate?" "We'll cross that bridge when we get there," I reassured her. "You deserve to be free from this nightmare. You deserve your life back." As we began consulting with lawyers, I couldn't shake the feeling that David and his family were preparing for a fight. I knew they would try to manipulate the situation and paint Anna as a liar, but I refused to let them intimidate us. One evening, as we sat in the living room, Anna looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I feel so broken, Mom. What if this never ends?" I pulled her into a hug. "You're not broken, Anna. You're stronger than you know. This is a fight for your freedom, and I will be right here with you every step of the way. We won't let them win." As I held her, I realized we had come too far to turn back now. The road ahead would be difficult, but together, we would face whatever challenges lay ahead. Justice was within our reach, and I would do everything in my power to ensure Anna reclaimed her life and dignity. The investigation stretched into weeks. With each passing day, the tension mounted. I knew David's family wasn't going to give up easily. They would fight with everything they had. Anna and I met with our lawyer, Mr. Jenkins, who was determined to help us navigate this challenging situation. "Your case is strong," he assured us during one of our meetings. "The hospital records and photos of Anna's injuries will support your claims. But we need to prepare for their possible counterattacks. They might try to discredit Anna, claim she's exaggerating or lying." Anna nodded, her face pale. "What if they succeed? What if people believe them? Then we'll fight harder," I replied, squeezing her hand. "This is about more than just you. It's about standing up against abuse and making sure no one else has to suffer the way you have." As the weeks wore on, we received more news from the police. David's family was being investigated not just for the abuse of Anna, but for fraudulent activities at David's workplace. It was a shocking revelation, but it gave us more leverage. "We can use this to our advantage," Mr. Jenkins explained. "If they're involved in illegal activities, it weakens their credibility. We can argue that they've been dishonest in every aspect of their lives." One afternoon, Anna received a call from the police. "Mom, they want me to come in for more questioning," she said, her hands trembling. "What if they try to twist my words?" "Just tell the truth, Anna," I encouraged, feeling both pride and fear for my daughter. "You've been brave so far. Don't let them intimidate you." The next day, Anna went in for questioning while I anxiously waited at home. When she returned, she was visibly shaken but relieved. "They were respectful," she said, her voice quivering. "I felt like they believed me." "We're making progress," I said, my heart swelling with hope. "This is the path to your freedom." Weeks later, We found ourselves in the courtroom for the hearing regarding Anna's divorce and the protection order against David. My heart raced as we took our seats. David and his parents sat across the room, their expressions hard. I could feel their hostility from a distance. When it was Anna's turn to testify, I squeezed her hand tightly. "You can do this," I whispered as she walked to the stand. Anna spoke about her experiences, her voice steady but filled with emotion. I felt trapped and scared. I didn't want to leave my job, but I was made to feel like I had no choice. They hurt me for trying to be independent. As she recounted the abuse, I saw the jurors leaning in, captivated by her courage. When she finished, I felt a surge of pride. My daughter was reclaiming her voice, finally. The judge delivered the verdict. The court ruled in Anna's favor. She was granted a divorce from David and awarded $80,000 in compensation for her suffering. Cheers erupted in my heart, and tears of relief streamed down my face. I turned to Anna, who was beaming with a mix of disbelief and joy. As we left the courtroom, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The battle wasn't over. There would still be challenges, especially with the ongoing investigation into David's family, but for the first time in a long time, I felt hope. "Mom, we did it," Anna exclaimed, wrapping her arms around me tightly. "Yes, we did, sweetheart," I replied, holding her close. "This is just the beginning of your new life. You are free now, and no one can take that away from you." With newfound strength, Anna and I began the process of healing. We focused on rebuilding our lives, setting new goals, and creating a future full of possibilities. I watched Anna transform from a fearful woman into someone vibrant and full of life. In that moment, I couldn't have been prouder. I realized our fight wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming our lives and embracing our resilience. We had faced darkness together, and now we were stepping into the light, ready to face whatever the future held. Together, we were stronger than ever, and nothing could break our bond.